Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here, and in today's video, I'm going to be breaking down some NBA player props I like on Prizepicks for today's slate on Wednesday, December the 14th. Now we do have a big Wednesday slate, kind of as per usual on Wednesdays. Usually there's a lot of games. We got 10 total games tonight, so a lot of player props to choose from. Recording this video around 1 o'clock Eastern time on Wednesday afternoon. We got a lot of the board posted right now. Still waiting for like fantasy score props to get added for a lot of the teams. There's only a couple teams on the board right now for fantasy score props. But for the traditional props, points, rebounds, assists, all that, we got almost every team on the board. There's still some injury news for today, so there's some teams they're kind of holding off on right now. But lots available. Got 3 picks that I'm going to give out in this video, guys. So before we do talk through our 3 plays for today, as always, if you guys enjoy these Prizepicks videos, please hit that like button down below. Hit that subscribe button if you guys have not yet. And if you are new to Prizepicks, make sure to check them out and sign up with my promo code NOAH. You will get your first deposit matched up to $100 when you do sign up with my promo code. And I do want to recap our plays from yesterday before we start talking through our plays for today. So for yesterday, we gave out 2 picks in our YouTube video yesterday. Unfortunately, man, Chris Middleton let us down. We went 1 for 2 on our 2 picks. We did hit the over on Chris Paul's points, 13.5. I think CP3 finished with like 16 points. Really like that spot for him against the Rockets. Obviously, without Devin Booker, thought there would be a lot of scoring opportunities for CP3. Came through for us, went over his points prop. Unfortunately, though, Chris Middleton went under his fantasy score, and that was really, really unfortunate because I felt really good about that Middleton prop, especially after Drew Holiday got ruled out. Drew Holiday got ruled out, and they didn't even like bump Middleton's projection. I was very surprised to see his projection stay the same. And I think he finished with like 26-something fantasy points, 26.3. He had like 20 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, which I think would have put him over maybe. But he had 3 turnovers, which kind of sucks. And normally Middleton's able to average more than 4 rebounds and 3 assists. Like he usually averages at least like 5 or 6 rebounds a game, I think. But he did have 20 points, and I know his points prop was at 16.5. So if I would have took his points prop instead of fantasy, it would have hit. But I like the fantasy score just because with fantasy score, you can get credited for everything: rebounds, assists, steals, and blocks. Middleton didn't get any steals and blocks, which is unfortunate. But again, man, I felt really good about that prop after Drew Holiday got ruled out. A lot of the sites around the industry had Middleton projected for like 35, 36 fantasy points. Prizepicks had him at 29.5. I just thought that was way too low. I actually doubled down on Middleton. I put him in another entry after Drew got ruled out, and we saw how that went. So unfortunate, man. Felt really good about the Middleton play yesterday. But we did give out 3 plays on Patreon. We hit all 3 of our plays on Patreon yesterday. As always, if you guys do enjoy these YouTube videos, you want more Prizepicks plays from me, every play that I do provide over on Patreon, I will give a full write-up for. Usually, depending on the slate size, I give anywhere from like 4 to 5 additional picks on Patreon. Sometimes less if it's a smaller slate. Sometimes more if it's a bigger slate. For today, I'll probably be able to find at least 3, 4, 5 additional plays I like for today. Once the full board gets posted. So definitely check out that Patreon if you want more Prizepicks plays from me. But let's talk through today's 3 picks, and we're going to start off in the points plus rebounds category. So I have a points plus rebounds prop I like, and then I have 2 points props I like. So for points plus rebounds, I want to go down to the Miami Heat, and I want to talk about Bam Adebayo. 32.5 points plus rebounds for Bam Adebayo. Really like the over here, and I love this matchup for Bam going up against the Thunder. The Thunder this season, they've been like one of the best matchups for centers. You look at across the board in terms of points allowed to the center position, rebounds allowed to the center position. OKC's up there. In terms of points allowed to centers, they're giving up like the 7th or 8th most points allowed to the center position, 8th most points allowed to centers. And in terms of rebounds, they're giving up the most rebounds to the center position. And I was debating between Bam's points prop versus his points plus rebounds. And I'm going to side with points plus rebounds just because it is such a good matchup for rebounding. The Thunder are just, they're one of the worst rebounding teams in the league. In terms of like rebound percentage, they're towards the bottom of the league. In terms of offensive rebounds allowed, they've given up the most offensive rebounds allowed per game. And in terms of, again, rebounds allowed to centers, they're giving up the most rebounds to the center position this season. Another reason I like this prop is that OKC this season, they've been giving up the 4th most points in the paint. So we know Bam Adebayo is a guy that can do a lot of damage in the paint and around the rim, and that's where OKC really struggles. They have pretty good like interior or wing defenders, like Lou Dort's a pretty solid defender, but man, when it comes to defending bigs, like they just don't have a good defensive big. They're going to be without Jeremiah Robinson-Earl today, which he's not even like the best defender anyway. I know his defense has kind of been improving this year, but without JRE, it's probably going to be like either Poku who's going to start at center, or Maybe they start like Darius Baisley or Mike Muscala. Like, I just have no idea. Whoever's out there guarding Bam, it's going to be a mismatch. So this is a matchup that Bam should have a ton of success in. OKC's been giving up huge games to centers all season, and I think this is a really good spot for Bam. Do want to mention as well that Jimmy Butler will be out today for Miami. So without Jimmy Butler, we can expect Bam to take on an even bigger offensive role, get even more usage. So far this season, with Jimmy Butler off the floor, Bam does have the second highest usage rate on the team, 28.2% usage rate. And when you look at this matchup, Tyler Hero is probably going to be guarded by Lou Dort. Now, Hero is one of these guys that can score on anyone, but I think it definitely could be kind of a tougher spot for Hero. I could see this being a game where they're just feeding the ball to Bam just because Bam's going to have a mismatch no matter who's out there at center trying to guard him. So really like this spot for Bam. I think he should be able to dominate on the glass as well with how bad OKC rebounds. And Bam's really been rebounding well lately. I know he had a 17 rebound game against the Pacers the other day. He had 15 rebounds against Detroit. Definitely could see this being like a 24, 25 points, 13, 14 rebound type game for Bam. So I like his points plus rebounds. I think he's got a good chance to hit a lot of his props today. The matchup is just so good, and this sets up is such a good spot for Bam Adebayo. So like that is our first prop for today, and then our next two props going to be some points props. I want to talk about Damian Lillard. So Damian Lillard, his points prop right now is currently set at 26.5, and I do want to mention that Prizepicks, once again, they have softer lines kind of across the board today. Like Bam Adebayo, his points prop on Prizepicks is 21.5. On the sports books, it's at 22.5. So like that's another reason if you wanted to take points props, you could. But like a lot of the points props across the board are like a point or two lower. And right now on DraftKings Sportsbook, Damian Lillard's points prop is set at 27.5, and it's juiced with minus 135 on the over. So I'm assuming Prizepicks is like doing this on purpose. They're trying to just put out softer lines just to kind of get more people to play, which honestly kind of makes some sense. 26.5 though, this points prop for Damian Lillard, I really like this over here. If you look at what Dame has done over his last 4 games since coming back from his injury, so the game against the Pacers, he only scored 21 points, but he was kind of limited in that game. He did only play 32 minutes. He didn't play his full minutes. Well, over their last 3 games, Dame has gotten back to playing full minutes. Against Denver, he played 38 minutes. Against Minnesota, he played 41 minutes. Last game against Minnesota, when they played again, Dame only played 29 minutes, but that was also a blowout. He did not play at all in the fourth quarter. But he still scored, 38 points in just 3 quarters. Dame's usage has been great lately. He's been taking a ton of shots over their last 3 games. Over this 3-game stretch, 22, 22, and 21 field goal attempts. Dame was incredibly hot from 3 last game. He shot 11 for 17 from 3. And we know that, Dame is one of these guys that, man, when he gets going, when he starts knocking down shots, he's just going to keep taking them. I mean, and especially in this matchup against the Spurs don't have any good defenders really at all. They don't have anyone to match up with Damian Lillard here. In general, the Spurs have been one of the worst defensive teams in the league this season. They're also playing at a really fast pace, so I think this just sets up as a really good matchup in general for Dame, because when you look at how fast San Antonio plays, Dame's one of these guys that is going to thrive in these fast-paced games where there's more possessions, more shot attempts for him. San Antonio this season, in terms of pace, they are top 10 in pace this season. In terms of defensive rating, they're dead last in defensive rating. So the matchup's really, really good. I want to say that San Antonio's also given up a lot of points to point guards this year. In terms of the point guard position, they've actually been kind of middle of the pack in terms of points allowed to point guards. But this matchup's really, really good for Dame. San Antonio plays fast. They're one of the worst defensive teams in the league. San Antonio has been able to, they've been playing better lately though, and they've actually been able to keep some games close. And we did see them upset the Cavs pretty recently. So normally I always get worried taking props against San Antonio or even betting on San Antonio guys just because this team is so bad. They do get blown out a lot. But they're playing at home here. San Antonio is. Hopefully this game will stay close. Even if it blows out, I mean, we saw Dame put up 38 points in 3 quarters last game. Like, he could have another one of those games where he just is scoring a ton because San Antonio does not have anyone to slow him down. And I think 27 points is easily doable for Dame here. Hopefully the game stays close. If it does, I think he's got a really good shot to go over this line. Even if the game somehow blows out, Dame is still going to play 28, 30 minutes, even in a blowout. He'll play through 3 quarters, and he could still get there in 3 quarters just because of how good the matchup is. So I like that as our second prop for today. And then third and final prop, going to go down to Nikola Jokic. 24.5 points for Nikola Jokic. I do also like this over as well. And you look at Jokic, his game log, what he's done over his last few games, he's kind of been improving on the scoring end. And I don't like to base picks off the last 5 games. I think if you do that, you're not going to be profitable in the long run. But it is good to see Jokic start to score more as of late. Jokic has kind of been like up and down scoring this season. He started off the season not really putting up huge scoring games, but as of late, the offense has really been running through Jokic. His usage rate's been up the last 5 games. Over the season, the full season, in terms of usage rate, Jokic 26.9% usage rate, which is actually second on the team behind Bones Highland. Well, over their last 5 games, Jokic's usage rate is above 30%, 30.4% usage rate. So we're really seeing them, run the offense through Jokic. He's been scoring way more, had 31 points against Utah, 33 against Portland, had 32 against the Pelicans, and then he had 24 against Atlanta, came up just short. You look at this matchup, though, against the Wizards, I think this is a really good spot for Jokic. Kristaps Porzingis is listed as questionable for today. There's a chance Kristaps Porzingis does not play, and it probably will be Daniel Gafford that guards Jokic. Daniel Gafford's a big guy. He's a good shot blocker, but he can't defend Jokic one-on-one, and Jokic is one of these guys that when he gets a mismatch, they're just going to feed him the ball. And I think if Kristaps Porzingis gets ruled out and it's Gafford that winds up starting, I mean, it's just going to be such a good spot for Jokic. And if Gafford doesn't start, they might start Taj Gibson. I mean, I would love to see Taj Gibson out there trying to guard Jokic because that would just be a huge mismatch. And even if Porzingis plays, I mean, Porzingis has never been like the greatest defender at all. So I think Jokic getting 25 points is definitely something that he can do today. He's a guy that I normally would bank on getting 25 plus points, no matter what the matchup is. And against a Wizards team that, not the best defensively, definitely can get beat down low. I think it's a pretty good spot for Jokic. His points prop as well on DraftKings Sportsbook, it's coming in at 25.5 right now. So we're getting some value here on Prizepicks. All these lines, at least the Lillard line is at 27.5 on DK. The Jokic line's at 25.5 on DK. I didn't talk about Bam's odds, but I think his odds right now for points plus rebounds, it is set at 32.5, but I'm pretty sure it's juiced on the over. It's minus 120 on the over, slightly juiced on the over here. But I like all 3 of these plays for today, guys. I think I feel pretty good about these 3 plays. It's a big slate, so there was a lot to like, and these were kind of the 3 picks that I liked most from taking a look at the board right now when I'm making this video around 1 o'clock. But I'm going to take a look at the board again in about an hour or 2 once Prizepicks has their full board, once they get all their fantasy score props up and everything. And I will be sharing more plays for today over on Patreon. So as always, if you guys do want more Prizepicks plays from me, check out the Patreon linked down below in the description. But for the 3 picks for today, I do recommend that you guys either mix and match these 3 plays or do a flex play, because we're definitely going to have days, and we've had a lot of days recently where we go 2 for 3. And on the days where we go 2 for 3, you should still be able to at least get your money back or make some money. Because if you do mix and match, like if you do a 2-pick with Bam and Lillard, a 2-pick with Bam and Jokic, a 2-pick with Lillard and Jokic, you could still, even if we go 2 for 3, you're still going to get your money back. Whereas if you do like a power play, obviously power play, you have a chance for a higher payout, but if you don't get every pick right, you don't win any money. So that's kind of like it's a riskier strategy. I do recommend mixing and matching if you can, or if you want to do the flex play, you can. I don't love the 3-pick, flex play payout, but even if we go 2 or 3, you still get 1.25 extra money. Even if we go 3 for 3, you still triple your money. So it's always up to you guys how you choose to want to play these plays, but I do recommend mixing and matching or doing flex plays, just so that way, even if we do get a pick wrong, you can still get some money back or potentially profit. But yeah, that's what I'm liking for this, big Wednesday slate, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, man, appreciate you watching. Hit that like button if you guys enjoyed. Hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. And again, if you guys are new to Prizepicks and if you have not checked out Prizepicks yet, get signed up over there. Use that promo code NOAH. Look at the bottom of the screen. When you do sign up with my promo code, you will get your first deposit matched up to $100. But best of luck tonight, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. We will see you in the next one.